Hello, everybody. Hello, Eric.
Hi, Danny.
It's great to see you here.
Yeah,
We're going
me
to wait
too.
just a few more minutes and get started.
Okay, great.
We've got a very interesting topic today, particularly with the uptick in the amount of financial information and financial talk that's coming out about the Chinese market.
Yeah.
So I hope this is going to be a really interesting topic that I don't know very much about, which is why Eric is here.
Okay.
So, welcome, everybody. While we're getting started, does anybody have any opens or any open topics or just pieces of conversation that they want to start the club off with?
Hi, Daniel. I have a one. This is Eugene.
Hey, Eugene.
My question is about branding a property,
Uh-huh.
and thoughts about that for single family uh, resident.
I'm sorry. I actually have an ear infection. Having a little trouble hearing. Thoughts about what of it?
Branding a property, and specifically for something as small as a single family. So whether it's online persona, social media,
Are
but putting a brand around a property.
is it a short-term rental property?
It can be,
Okay.
but
I
not
mean,
necessarily.
if it's a long-term rental, you can always brand a property depending on where it is. I think it makes the most sense with a short-term rental where you're constantly trying to get people to come in through it. Um, the short-term rental that I have up on Airbnb, we called it Bright Mountain Stay, and I think that probably helps attract people. It's so are you looking about online branding in terms of putting up a web page or social media campaigns?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean anything that'll drive traffic to your property, I suppose, is good. I I only really see the point if it's a short-term rental, to be honest, unless somebody else out there has a different opinion or a different use case.
And does it enable direct bookings at all with the website?
Yeah, it's just on Airbnb and
Oh,
Verbo.
okay, so no direct bookings. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I could see a luxury property, maybe Daniel having the similar need for a branding, even if it's for a longer term.
Yeah. Or a bed and breakfast or
Mhm.
something that where you need frequent bookings. All
Hey, hey,
right.
hey, Daniel. Before we
Yeah.
start, I have a question. So, if I'm out in the Bay Area. I'm based in San Francisco Bay Area, and as you know, there's a lot of like startup activity out here.
Hmm.
Even still post-pandemic. I was wondering, with us being the alternative investment club, if we find an interesting startup that is raising capital, would it make sense to give them an opportunity to engage with this group?
Sure, sure. A couple months ago, this group voted that they wanted to talk more about passive income. Even though we're heavily real estate focused, obviously that's kind of our origin. But yeah, absolutely. Come in. I'll do a pre-screening with them, and hopefully it would be something where it would enable uh, investors to invest in a passive way.
Hmm.
That would be the only thing that I'd really look for, and of course the professional presentation.
Yeah. Okay. All right, great. I'll reach out to you.
All right. Well, with that, I want to welcome Eric to the group here. Full disclosure, Eric is someone that I am mentoring with multifamily, so I do a lot of deal analysis and deal reviews with Eric. He's been one of the few people that I've been mentoring actually over the last year or so. If anybody else is interested in that, please reach out to me. I am accepting mentoring students at this time. But Eric is a unique individual because he focuses mainly on bringing investment dollars over from his Chinese connections. And so we're going to learn a lot today about the Chinese economy, why people in China are interested in investing in the United States, and what are the mechanisms that are set up for them to do that. I think this is going to be really interesting, especially with the uptick in the amount of news talking about the Chinese economy and the high leverage state that it's currently in. But Eric, welcome to the group.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay. So you want me to share about the EB5 project, Visa, whatever about about the Chinese market, right?
Yeah. Why don't you bring up your presentation?
Okay.
And I know I've gotten I personally sometimes have trouble understanding you, so I may ask you to repeat some things, and just try to keep it slow and distinct here because we've got a large audience.
Okay, great. I understand. So, okay, I try my best to slow down my language. Okay, sorry for the English speaking. Can you guys see my can you guys get my screen?
Yes, it's not in presentation mode, but we can see your screen.
It's not in presentation mode. How about now?
So in order to get in presentation mode, do you see down at the slider at your bottom right?
Hold
And
on.
there's an icon just to the left of it.
Hold
It
on.
makes your slides full screen.
Yeah. So I think I shared already. Let me try again.
Oh, it's shared. We can see it.
You can see it?
Yeah, we can see it. It's just not the slides just aren't full screen.
Or
Or
not
he
full
can
screen?
press F5 if you just press
Oh,
F5.
F5. There we go.
Okay. Now it's the page EB5 Visa. You can see.
We can see it.
You can see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We can start now, right? Okay, hold on. Yeah, so now, okay, so you can see the first page about the DB5, right?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay,
Somebody may ask you to try and enlarge it at a later point, but we can go on right now.
okay, great. So EB5 is very popular in China now. I'm not sure how many people know Chinese market currently. So I have a very simple idea here to present you guys about what's the EB5 project. So basically, in the presentation, there are four phases. One is about the introduction of EB5 project. Another one is approval of the process for developer. And the next is why it's so popular in China, especially foreigners, especially in China. And the number four is the perspective of the opportunities now. So let's go ahead about the introduction. So the EB5 visa basically is if you have money, okay, you can invest in a project in the States. And you guys can Daniel, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. So, that's basically, that's very easy. And for the high-end Chinese people in China, if EB5 visa is the immigrant visa program that allow foreign investors to get a US green card. Sorry. Let me.
So EB5 is an immigrant visa program that allows foreign investors to obtain a U.S. green card by investing in commercial real estate.
Yes.
Interesting combination there. What?
Yeah, not only. Sorry, let me go ahead. Not only the commercial real estate, but also any project in the States. So to exchange that, if the project can create jobs in the United States, then the investor can get a permit, live, and work in the United States, which is a green card, with their sponsor and their children on the 2021. So that's basically the idea, which is very popular, especially for the high-end class in China or in foreigners in India and China. But I'm Chinese. I know Chinese market very well. I don't know the Indian market. Okay. So
a quick question. So the EB5 program, is it available only to Chinese investors, or you just mentioned India? Is it available to
all the foreigners,
all foreign countries?
Okay. Yeah, all the countries, all the foreigners, not only Chinese people. But it's very popular in China because I've explained to you guys later about why it's so hot in China. Okay. So the approval, let's go ahead about the approval of the approval process for developers. So as a developer, if you want to get this kind of license to launch, EB5 project, you have to go ahead with the 8 steps. First, you have to, project planning and preparation to the immigration, office. The second, step 2, business plan and budget, proof of the source of funds and hiring professional consulting to help you to get the license and prepare the I-924 application, regional central destination. But this is number step 6 is not allowable. Some people, they can use some projects, they can use others, which they pay them. It's okay. That also works. And of course, step 7, submit the application, and last one, wait for the approval. So let's go ahead one by one. First, about the approval process. So developer need to clearly define the nature, scale, and project goal of the project. So this involves identify the project type, like real estate, infrastructure, healthcare facilities, and about the location, about the project size, about the business plan, whatever, the expected investment amount and the job creation plan. So that's this one. So regarding your question, Daniel, that's not only for real estate but also infrastructure, infrastructure investment, healthcare facilities, whatever, like that. So
would these sort of projects extend to businesses? Like we just had someone come on and mention potential venture startups. Could investment be put in those as well as infrastructure and real estate?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So now real estate is very popular because real estate is very easy for the foreigners to know and very easy to know how to exit. And it's
understood.
It's a short way. So that's step 1. Step 2, business plan and budget. So developers must create a detailed business plan outlining the project business model, market perspective, expected return on investment, and other relevant details. So, okay. So about this, the immigration, the office, they just care how much funds this project need, and they will check. After the project finished, they will check if the funds has fully invested on this project. If most of this, if all the funds follow the business plan, which is submitted years ago, the investor can get the visa, the EB-5 visa, which is, EB-5, green card. The investor can get the permanent green card to live in the States and work. So step 3, proof of the source of the funds. So developers need to provide the evidence of the source of funds for the investment project. This is to ensure the funds needed, used for the investment are legal and derived from litigation source, development document and evidence supporting the funds. So basically, the developer have to let the immigration know what's the fund structure, how much loan you get, how much money you want to get from the EB-5 investors. So mostly the size to about the EB-5 funds around 20 to 30% of the whole project.
Okay. So it sounds like when you're involved in a large project that would qualify to be an EB-5 project, that a lot of the same sort of hoops that you needed to jump through for getting a commercial loan or going to the bank, such as putting together a business plan, making sure that you have proof of funds, these types of things, you have to go through the official EB-5 program and this is all through the U.S. Immigration Service, right?
Yes. Basically the funds, the EB-5 funds is almost zero expense. I will explain to you later in the presentation. So the developer mostly if the project want to be success in the future, mostly the developer has 2 options. One, they can use the loan from the bank, which is now construction loan around 19 or 11%, right? So, but the EB-5 funds is almost zero, cost. So that's the key for the developer. So basically, the developer can use the funds from EB-5 investors free for at least 3 to 5 years.
So you're saying that while an interest rate on a commercial loan might be 9 to 11% now,
Yep.
EB-5 funds are a very, did you say zero cost or very low interest rate?
Very low. Let's say 2% to invest. That's pretty high. You understand? Annually.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
pretty high. The investor doesn't care how much the return they get. They just care if can they get the green card on time.
Okay. So foreign investors aren't really looking for the return on their investment as much as they're putting a down payment onto a green card.
Yes, their return is get the green card, not the capital.
Do you know how is the interest rate set for this type of funding? Is it the government that sets it?
No. It depends on the developer.
Depends on the developer. What you mean? Just what they're willing to pay?
Yeah. Let's say if the project very hot, the developer will give zero return on the capital for the investors. You understand?
Okay.
But if the project is not so hot, they can give 2, 3, even 4% annually.
Okay.
Depends on the immigration has nothing requirement for this.
Okay. So it's a negotiation between the particular investor. Now, does each you're probably going to get to this. So maybe I should ask my question later, but I'll just throw this out there. Does each investor need to individually negotiate with the person who's doing the construction, or is there an intermediary? So maybe someone in immigration services or a third party that will pool together funds from investors and then go to the person doing the construction.
Yes, they will set up okay. Basically, the EB5 investor like LP. They will pull the funds to the company, which is verified by the immigration, the office.
Okay.
So they're the LP.
So the person doing the construction, or the syndication rather, is
EP.
going to go to immigration services and become part of this program and let themselves accept that type of funding.
Yes, the developer like the general partner GP, the investor like LP.
Okay. Let me let you continue with your presentation.
Okay, great. So step 4, hire professional consultant, mostly the lawyer, accountant, and business consultant. This maybe take normally 15 to 100,000 to hire this kind of people to finish this document, all the process document, and even for the step 5, prepare the I-924 application. So I-924 application is the primary approved application for the EB5 project, primarily aimed at updating regional central design if applicable, and the project approved. In the application, developer need to provide the detailed information about the project. So basically, the 1 million investment equal 12 employment. So let's say, and every 10 employment opportunities can get 1 green card. So let's say if this project is totally 10 million, so that means this project will create indirectly around 120 employment. Then there is the business model will transfer to can get divided by 10, there's 12. So this project can get 12 green card for the families.
Okay.
That's the business model.
So every $1 million put into a project like this counts as 12 jobs created in the eyes of the immigration service. Yes. And so a Chinese investor or Indian or any other nationality who is investing that $1 million would be credited with creating 12. And how does that speed up? Is there a certain threshold where they have to create a certain number of jobs in order to expedite the green card service, or is it at any amount? What are the qualifications there?
What's the qualification? What do you mean?
Yeah, how much does a foreign investor need to invest to qualify to get a green card?
Yeah. Okay, so maybe how many years ago? 5 years ago, that's 500,000. That's 500,000. Now the minimum target employment, center at least 800,000.
800,000. Okay.
Yeah, for one family, for the green card.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's why very hot. I told you, in high-end class. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. What percentage of Chinese families can afford to do that?
Oh, that's a great question. I have no idea. I think, maybe 10 in 1,000, one in, 1%. I'm not sure. I think
1%?
1%.
Okay.
Yeah, 1%, maybe 1% to 5 in 1,000, like that. A half
Okay.
percent.
Okay. So just the very wealthiest, really.
Yeah, like the network should be at least 2 million.
Okay.
At least 2 million. Okay. So step 6, the developer plan to use the regional center for EB5 investment. They also need to cooperate with the approved regional center to ensure the project aligns the center's objective and requirement. That means the developer is not allowed to apply for the regional center himself. They can use others. Let's say they can use others and pay them. That's allowed by the immigration office. Okay, let's go ahead with next. Okay, so submit the application. So that's the attorney or whomever accountant can do this. Okay, there are a lot of people, resource, manpower about this. So step 8, await approval, and then the last one, the note. Once the I-24 application is approved, that's the time the developer can formally begin promoting and raising funds among the potential investors to implement the project. So as soon as you get the approval, this approval mostly can last 3 to 5 months. So let's say if you have project now, you hire everybody here, and then normally you can get the approval around 4 months later. So that's the timeline for this one. Okay. It's important to note that the preparation and application process for EB5 project can be relatively complex. So seeking professional, legal, accounting, whatever is necessary. Okay, so why it is so popular in China? I'm Chinese, I know that very well. So first, advantage for the investors. So no requirement. Okay, if you want to immigrate to the state, you should have very high educated, or you have very experience in your field. In your field, you are the top people in your field or business or whatever. Basically, you have to approve to the states. You are the very high, technical, or the industry or education people if you want to immigrate to the states. But EB5 project, this stands so accessible pathway for investors. So it doesn't need any education requirement, no matter what kind of education level you are, no matter what kind of languages, even if you know nothing about English, it's okay. So it's basically nothing requirement of age, language, background, anything. It's only one requirement. Your income in foreign countries is legal. That's the only, you have to prove whatever your income, let's say the 800,000, that's the legal. That's the only approval for the immigration from the investors, nothing else. And number 2 is about this. There is a lot of projects in the market because this kind of project is very profitable for the developers. So a lot of project in China and before maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, a lot of traders in China, okay, about this market. A lot of traders, a lot of stories. So the investor is very sensitive to pick up which project now, because a lot of project is very hard to identify which is good, which is bad, okay? And it's very free path to get a green card. So as soon as the developer put your money to the project, you are almost for sure you can get the green card. But if you select a proper project, you can get a green card in like 3 to 5 years. But if not, you will get a green card maybe 8 years, 10 years in the Chinese market. In the other countries, maybe shorting, because in China market is very competitive. So that's the advantage for the investors. Okay, so advantage for the developers. So almost no cost, of the funds. So developer can leverage the EB5 funds to get to finish the project. So significantly enhances their return on investment. So by tapping into the investor capital, developer can amplify the feasibilities and attractiveness of their ventures. So that's not, as we thought, there is no cost, almost no cost for the funds. And if you are success with this project, it's very easy for your guy to collect the funds for the next step, next project. So that means potential for the brand applications. So successful EB5 project not only offer financial goals, but also can lead a lasting brand recognition. So let's say in China, let's say I'm living in Atlanta, okay? I have a friend who is the developer. He has finished 22 projects in the past 12 years and 5 projects with EB5 visa. So now it's very easy to collect the EB5 funds because he has successfully finished the 5 projects in Atlanta already. And the EB5 visa is the long term, it's not temporary. No matter maybe next year, maybe the rule change a little bit, but this kind of visa will last for long term. So it's the long term business plan.
Okay. Hey, Eric, we've got a number of questions here.
Okay.
So do you mind if I interrupt you now and go to some of them?
Yeah, you can ask now. Okay, we can discuss.
All right. So first one here, actually, I'm going to start with Ashish's question first here.
Okay.
Do you actually offer services or place capital into EB5? And do you do this through your own projects, or are you recruiting investors for other syndications and other customers?
Oh, you mean my status, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, I studied that a lot. Before I come to the States, I live in Japan. I have a hotel which I'm planning to apply for the EB5 license, but I stopped because of that time travel time. The EB5 should last 8 to 10 years for the Chinese people to get the green card. So that's why it's very hard for me, I think. So I denied the project. I didn't go ahead with that. So regarding to your question, yeah, now I'm the channel. I can collect the investors for this kind of project, but the project should be very nice. That's the requirement for me.
Okay. Another question we have here is, oh, you know what? Actually, let me interrupt right here and say something that I should have said at the beginning. And sorry, this is off topic.
I'm sorry for the long range. Okay, Daniel.
Yeah, no, so last week's video presentation with Michael Hazen, he actually contacted me and asked me to take it down because he's not allowed to publicly advertise. So I just wanted to let the whole group know that last week's video is actually not in our Speakers Hall of Fame, and it was taken down at the request of the speaker. Okay. Sorry I should have said that at the beginning here. Let's go back to some of the questions that we have here. And it seems, let's see. What questions do we have here? So just to reiterate a little bit of the math here around a $1 million investment. And I think the confusion is around if it requires 800K in order to qualify for the green card. Why does the Immigration Service talk about conversion into jobs and give the example of $1 million investment giving 12 jobs? Is it the dollar amount that's important, or is it the number of jobs created? And
okay, that's great. That's a great question.
Clarify that. Okay.
Basically, let me dig more about this question. Basically, any company create 10 employees in the States. The owner or the manager can get 1 green card. Let's say, Daniel, you have a restaurant in the States. Your restaurant has 10 employees, which is green card or American citizens, okay? That means the owner or the partner of the restaurant can get 1 green card. So that's why some businessmen, they sell their shares to attract the foreign people get a green card legally.
Okay.
Oh, that's directly employment, right? Employment. So the EB5 project means indirectly employment. So that means they count how much investment you put in the project. 1 million equals 12 like employment.
Mhm.
So that's two, that's two directions, same meaning.
Okay. Eugenio is asking, does the member or do you, if you are bringing EB5 investors into a project, need to have a specific role in the project? Do you have to be a general partner in the project in order to bring your EB5 investors in? Or when you apply to be an EB5, a person that brings in EB5 investments, does that give you kind of like a dealer broker license where you can simply take in investors and send their capital to a project which you're not actually a part of?
Oh, you mean the license for me, right?
Yeah. Do you have to be a general partner in order to bring in?
No.
No.
That's just like, as I told you, the EB5 project like the LP.
Okay.
So I'm raising capital. That means I don't think that, private equity, they no need any license, right? Same. No license. And I can join as a GP or not.
Okay.
But to be honest, I'm very collective about what kind of project focus. I'm sorry.
Sure. If the money is only being brought in as a limited partner, are you being compensated for that? Is there
yes. Yes, that's a great question. So 800,000, that's the capital funds, which will retain to the investor as soon as they get their green card, the project's done. That's maybe mostly like last 3 to 5 years or longer. Then the investor can get 800,000 back. But with the investor join the project, they have to pay another management fee, which is 80,000 to 100,000. That's mostly paid by the investors and be distributed to the channels, to the market, like you said, what I get from that.
We have a lot of good discussion going on in the chat. Make sure that everybody there checks it out. Why don't you go on with your presentation, and at the end we can open it up to general questions. Continue putting them in the chat though, your questions, and I'll bring them up as appropriate. So go on, Eric.
Okay, great. Okay. So so let's say advantage for the developers and what advantage for the so why it is so popular in China? So as you know, since the pandemic, the Chinese changed a lot, especially about the economic. Okay, so a lot of Chinese people, they are losing money for the entrepreneurs in the past 4 years. Even my company, I lost a lot in Shanghai. I have a company in Shanghai. I come from Shanghai, so I want to close my company because every month I'm losing. So let's say a lot of people, entrepreneurs like me, they are losing private companies. They are losing money. So they want to, they have any, future now in the 3 years or 5 years. That's number one. Number two, education. In China, the education is very competitive. Even you come out from the very high, very good reputation school like Peking, Tsinghua, university, which is very, very popular in the world. Even that is very hard to find a job. In the maybe 2 months ago, the unemployment from the educators, which is just come out from the school, is around the number from the official is 23%. Official number.
23% unemployment from people that come from very good schools?
Just come from a college.
Okay. Is that any college or really good college?
Any college.
You mentioned any college. Okay.
But I mean official number. Official number is for me it doesn't worth to trust.
Yeah, you don't trust the official numbers.
I think double.
You think it's double that?
Yeah. So now 1 month ago, the Chinese government, they don't want to disclosure the unemployment for the youth. They said it's very hard to calculate. So 1 month ago, the government doesn't want to disclose the unemployment for the youth. Okay, so that means the education is pressure for the young kids and the parents, see this is very hard for the kids. So that's why they want the kids get educated from whatever, like United States, like the European or whatever. So that's the stress, the demand for the people, for the middle class or high end Chinese people, family, they want to immigrate. The demand is very strong now.
Okay, so you're saying that a lot of the reason, or one major reason that people use this program in China is they want their kids to go over and get a university education over in the United States.
Yes, get education, and they lose money in China. They want to travel, immigrate to other countries. Because why they do not want to immigrate, because their business still make money in China.
Mm-hmm.
Now the business losing money. Why they stay there? And the kids, very competitive about education, and they are worried about that. So the demand to immigrate to other countries is very strong in China at this moment. So that's why it's very hot now. Okay. So uncertain about the domestic, perspective in China. Nobody know what will happen in the future. So people worry a lot about this. Maybe because of politicals or whatever. I don't want to mention this. Okay, this is not my subject. Okay, so yeah, perspective and opportunities. So, since last year, around what's that? Let's go ahead with the presentation first. Okay, so now ability to reside and work in the States after dual filing. So you can file the two forms together. I-526 and the 485 together. Meanwhile, that's two forms you can find now one time since last March. March is last year, which means as soon as you are in the States, no matter what kind of visa, as soon as you find the two forms together, you can work in the States legally. Your kids can get the public school legally. Before, 2 years ago, if you can want to find this kind of document, that need at least 3 to 4 years. So basically, shortening the process, 3 to 4 years. Okay, so current lack, first, is still falling. The second is about the current lack of the visa boarding. Presently there is no visa voting, backlog for the Chinese applications, which could lead, shortening waiting times. So from the day you sign the contract, you invest your 800,000 to you get your green card. Now mostly around 3 to 4 years, but you can stay in the States in 3 to 4 years legally. Your case, education, you can get a work visa, whatever. But before 2 years ago, that need 8 to 10 years. So that's the window for the people, for the investor to hurry up now at this moment. This situation may last 1 more year until we think this situation will last maybe by the next year, by July or whatever, at most 1 more year, maybe half to 1 more year. So the people is a little bit, hurry up. And then, of course, the developer now is expertise this. So longer, okay.
What's causing the program to only last about 1 more year? Is it expected that Congress will change this, or the Immigration Service is going to change this?
No, the CAC, as soon as there is a now, okay. I think I will mention this later in the next slide. Okay.
Okay.
So longer wait for the full family green card or project outside the TEA. TEA means target employment area. So I will explain this later. Okay. So waiting period can extend beyond the 5 years for obtaining a full family green card due to the subsequent steps if investor selects the project outside the TEA. So the minimum investor, the target employment, the area TA project has been raised 800,000. So if not, 1.05 million. So starting from 2027, every 5 years, 15,000 more. Okay, let's go ahead for next.
Okay, so you're basically saying the number is going to be increased and it's rising
Every 5 years,
every 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
So advantage for the investors after the new policy. So the definition of target employment area has been updated. It can now encompass about the rural area, urban area with high unemployment location, as well as infrastructure project. So this kind of requirement, if you think your project can satisfy with this, mostly you can hire, professional guy, a lawyer, or accounting to submit the document for the EB5 project. TEA, which is 800,000, and no, at this time there is no time. The term very efficient, around 3 to 4 years, I think, like that. Can get the green card. But during that period, the investor no need to wait, can come to the States, can get the work legally, the education, the kids can get education. So for the destination of the urban area with high unemployment, it will directly adjusting census tract as defined by the November 2029 USCIS regulation, often referred to as the downward porting. Okay, so go ahead with next. Okay, so prospect and opportunities. So advantages for the investor after the new policy. So the visa reservation on last year, March 15, 2022, President Biden signed the new EB5 legislation. The annual quant for EB5 is around 10,000 visas. Under the new policy, 20%, which is 2,000 visas, are reserved for the rural areas. 10%, which is 1,000 visas for the urban area with high unemployment area. 2%, which is 200 visa for the infrastructure project. So as soon as they're full, you have to wait. Okay. Priority for the new applications. Applications submit under the new law receive the expertise processing and are affected by the backlogging in the existing pipeline. So currently, all 3 categories of visa reservation are under current status, which means application on the new policy do not need endure a lengthy waiting period. Before 5 years or longer, 5 years to 10 years, now no need at this moment. So that's the window. That's the window for the investors. Okay. So yeah.
Hey, so we have a question from Glenn, and he's asking, we mentioned earlier that there's very little return for the EB5 investor.
Yes.
They're doing it for the green card. But it was mentioned in terms of an interest rate. Do the EB5 investors get an IRR or a return on equity? Not an interest rate that they're getting paid periodically, but when the project is actually sold, is there a significant return usually?
No.
Okay.
They only have 2 targets. One, get the green card as soon as they can, which is the new policy. We can have them, right? Okay. Number 2, get back the 800,000 without any return. If you can make this happen, they are so happy.
So why are not more developers and people that are setting up projects using the EB5 program? It's not a well-known program. At least I had not heard of it. I suppose maybe many people who are foreigners had heard of it. But yeah. What prevents just all people that are in construction from applying? Is it a rigorous process, or there are only so many EB5 permits given per year? Why is it not more common? It seems like a great deal for the developer.
Okay, like Daniel, like you don't know this. You are not familiar with it. You are the you said investment professionals. You know this very few. So there are thousands of projects in China about the states, about EB5 projects. They're very competitive. very competitive. So that's the process to get the EB5 license. The center is easy. As I told you, around 100,000 and 3 to 5 months, you can get it. It's easy. It's everything is easier. It's not complicated. The issue is not all people know this, and not all people know the channels. They, let's say you have very few friends who know, you have very few Chinese friends, right? And you have very few channels about to market for you guys. And of course, there are thousands of projects on the market, so it's very competitive. A lot,
okay.
not a few, a lot.
Okay. What's the selection process like from the point of view of the immigration service? How do they determine who gets the EB5 project?
Sorry, Sergey, how the immigration office?
So the immigration office is handing out licenses for EB5 projects. How do they determine which developers get the EB5 project?
Okay, so from the beginning, if the developer want to apply for the EB5 project, right? They have to submit the document. After they submit the document, they can collect the funds from EB5 investors, right? Or even they have the visa, even they have the license, like license, okay? They are not going to collect the funds from EB5 project for EB5 investors. That also works.
Okay.
I'm not sure answer your question.
I think it does.
Okay.
Karthik is asking a question here. What is the exit for the EB5 investor? Do they have to wait until the project has its exit before they can get their money back?
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, correct. Because your
not a liquid investment.
Your capital is in the project, and you are the LP. You have no return. So that means the GP control everything legally. As soon as the GP follow the contract, you have nothing right to do. So yeah, so basically 3 to 5 years or longer, they use your capital.
Apologies if I'm getting your name wrong, but Cease is asking, does the 800K get a green card for only one investor or for an entire family?
Yeah, as I told you in the first page, one entire family, including the kids under 21 years.
Okay. So kids under 21 and the entire family. Is that like does that include grandparents or other extended?
No.
Okay.
About the parents, about the parents is not another issue. You have to get the American citizen. As soon as you get the American citizen, you can ask your parents to apply for the green card.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Ashish is asking, are there certain project categories that developers target that work better for EB5 programs? For example, new hotels that hire a lot of people.
Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so basically, hotel is not the hottest one. Single family house is the hottest one in Chinese market because it's simple and easy. Let's say you build 100 unit, you sell 100 unit, and when you sell 100 unit, the people can get their capital back. That's easy to understand. But hotel business, commercial like hotel industry, whatever, infrastructure, right? So that's hard to tell when you can exit. Make it simple and easy. So the most popular project in China, like single family house and apartment, like your project.
And CC is asking, who gets the capital back? The investor, right? The person.
The investor. The investor get the capital back because they should get it. Okay,
great. Continue on with the presentation, and we only have 10 minutes left, so let's make sure to leave a little bit of time for questions.
Yeah, I think we're done. We're done for the presentation.
Looks like, actually, I missed one question here. Karthik says, for normal investors, does investing in a program qualified for EB5 provide better returns, since 20 to 30% of the project doesn't get very much returns? That's a great question. The other investors, say investors that are from the US that are investing through normal LP contracts, are they getting better returns because the EB5 investor is getting a low return?
Yeah, of course. If you are investors for the, let's say you are not for the, because the return of the project is very high. It's higher than others. You are the shareholders of the project, right? You get a higher return, sure.
Mhm. And James is asking another question here. Is there a minimum ROI that you need to have to attract your investors? And I think we answered this. They're not getting very much of an ROI.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the managers, maybe 2%, or less or higher,
Right.
depends on the project. It depends,
Okay.
all depends up to you.
We'll hold the rest of the questions till after you're done here.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm done with this. So any others about the project?
It's a short hold. All right. Feel free to take yourself off mute if you want to come on and ask a question. Ashish has a question here. Could you invest in building a single family house and then buy it to live in yourself? So I guess the EB5.
Good. I understand. That's a good question. That's a very good question. No, no, but practically you can design or assign your friend or whomever get the house, not your family name.
All right.
Do you have a slide with your contact info?
Sorry?
Do you have a slide with your contact information?
The other side. Here, right?
No,
what's
contact.
your email address?
Oh, my email.
How do people here reach out to you?
Okay, do you mind I input in the chat?
Sure.
Eric Guo G group down group and Eric Guo G group. Okay, I sent already.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, so basically for the investors, they have three destinations. First, the project is a liar. They take the 800,000, they run away. That happened in China, in Chinese market, okay, years ago. Now it's very, very few, okay, almost zero, because the escrow, the immigration asking for the escrow now, more strict than before. Number two, the second is about they get a green card, but they never get the capital back because the developer invest all the capital in the project already, and the project never exit as planned. Okay, that's number two, which is very common. Because this kind of project a lot. The investor get the green card, but they never get the capital back because the project never exit as planned legally. Okay, that's number two. Number three, you get a green card and you get your capital back. Follow the contract, everything moves very well. There are three destinations for the investors.
Hey, Eric, at the beginning of your presentation, you kind of touched on it, but I didn't understand your business model till after the presentation. So I'd like to kind of see if you can cover it again. But could this program be used for non-real estate type investments? Say, yes, okay.
Yes, not only real estate, but whatever project provide I can send you guys the presentation. If you send me a message to my email, I can send you the presentation.
Got it. And then if these funds are invested, say, in a syndicated deal, they're LPs, perhaps at a venture capital or private equity firm, does the clock start ticking only after that capital is deployed, or if it sits, say, in a VC firm and the dollars haven't been formally invested, the Chinese investor needs to wait until they find a target company?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So you have to find the target company, and the target company has to receive the funds, and then that's when the clock starts.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's very competitive now. He's very competitive.
Yeah. So Karthik has a question.
And a lot of demands in China. A lot. But there is a short way. If you can let the investor be the shareholder of the project and the EB5 investors, which is very good. Because as a shareholder, he knows everything about the financial report. And he knows the details. Then as the EB5 investors, he will benefit from the visa in the future. That's a short way to persuade the Chinese people to involve this kind of project. They have two status: the shareholder of a project and the EB5 investors. That's the short way.
Hey, Eric, there are a couple of different questions concerning the conversion of money into equivalent jobs. And just to clarify here, so I'm seeing questions like the jobs that are created are construction workers for that particular project. Is there a requirement that the jobs are created after the project is complete? And there's another question that says, what's the minimum length of employment for these jobs? Now, just to clarify here, at least it's my understanding that these aren't necessarily jobs that are being created, although there are jobs being created. What the EB5 program is saying is that a certain amount of capital is the equivalent of creating these jobs. So
Yeah.
they're not tracking the jobs themselves. They're just saying
No,
800, a million's worth 12 jobs.
Yeah, in the business plan, the consultant, the professionals will make the business plan why 1 million here provide what kind of job in the future indirectly.
Right. So the immigration service, their mandate is to create jobs through this program. And the way that they're tracking that is to say a certain number of dollars invested is equivalent to a certain number of jobs.
Yes,
okay.
they track the investment, not
Okay.
the direct job for this project.
Okay. And Brian is asking, is it still attractive to investors as many people can't get their funds back? First, do you agree that many people can't get their funds back?
I should say a lot of people didn't get their funds back as planned. Maybe mostly delayed a little bit. Maybe let's say they plan to 5 years get their funds back, maybe 6 years or 7 years. So yeah, that's very common. But more than half of the project, the investors get their funds, on time.
Okay.
Depends on the reputation. If you want to build, you want to make a long term, you can make another one, next project. So it depends on the reputation.
All right.
So the investor, the Chinese investor, is going to get their 800,000 back because there is eventually going to be an exit event for the deal, but it may be longer than they originally had planned. Correct?
Yes. Let's say that they are, but the immigration doesn't care this. The immigration does care is the funds, whatever you collect, 100% put in the project already. If that done, the investor can get the permanent green card. And that's the key point for the investors.
Okay. So like any larger project, you don't know exactly when the exit point is. The exit point is whenever the sellers can hopefully maximize the investor return. That's when they exit.
That should be mentioned in the contract. But that's the legal issues. That's not the immigration issues.
Okay. Any other last minute questions here?
Sorry, follow up, Daniel and Eric. But you do said there are so many projects never ended and never exited. So that means in that case, that investors never get their money back. Yeah, maybe they get their green card, but they never get their money back, right?
Yeah, let's say the project finished the investment, but they file bankruptcy. Okay, the investment already done. The investment already done, but the project never success.
Okay, then they just, basically they just, lost their money, but they in return they just got a green card. That's it.
Yes.
But
correct.
It's a big risk to the investor, right? So basically you pay 800,000 for green card. That's it.
Yeah, that's big risk. So that's why the investors in China, they are very collective. They are very picky to select which kind of project. As I told you, maybe thousands or at least hundreds of projects in China now.
So in China, do the people get loans for this kind of when they apply for this? Are loans available?
No, cash, only cash.
All cash.
Legally cash. Yeah, only cash.
Okay, thank you. There's the risk there. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Hey, everybody. Let's take ourselves off mute and thank Eric for coming in and speaking to our group about this really interesting topic.
I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Eric.
Thank you,
Great
Eric.
presentation.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank-
Thanks, Eric. Have a good day.
Thank you, Eric. This was very new to me when you talked to me about it the first time, and so I hope this was interesting for a lot of our people out there.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, EB5, let's say your project can be because I know you have a apartment right now on the construction or whatever pending process can be, but it's very competitive because you do not have a reputation in China about EB5 project, right?
Sure.
That's not it's for the beginner it's hard.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's number one. Number two about if you have a, let's say if you have business or a friend have a business which is team employee already, they can help the foreign people to get the green card. They can charge let's say 200,000 at once. Let's say you have a restaurant. You ask me, oh Eric, I have a restaurant which is 100 team employee already here. Do you want to get a green card? I said, yeah, sure. Okay, let's make a deal. You sign the shares to me, which is I'm the shareholders, but I didn't get the bonus. Okay. You still operate the restaurant. I'm on the hope of the restaurant. Then 2 years or 1 year later, I can get a green card. That's the shortest way. That's the directly, employment.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, a lot of chance.
All right. So last week I actually said that Eli Wiener, the owner of Mobile Home Parks, is going to be this week. It's actually next week. So next week we will have a mobile home owner who owns a lot of mobile home parks come in and talk to us about running a business that even an idiot that is idiot proof. And we'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend.
Thank
you.
Thank you.